Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of high school basketball with the Bethany Christian Bruins. Tonight from Buller Court on the campus of Bethany Christian Schools in Goshen, Indiana, it's the 8-4 Bruins of Bethany Christian who come into tonight's game on a 3-game winning streak and winners of 7 of their last 8, taking on the Panthers of Prairie Heights High School, who are 10-2 on the season, and they won 10 of their first 11 before dropping a NECC conference, it'd be a quarterfinal or semifinal, to West Noble 39-33 last Friday night. Good evening, everybody, from high above courtside up in the mezzanine looking out over the east end zone. I'm Tony Miller as the Bruins look to win their 4th in a row for the second time this season and move to 9-4 on the season. Prairie Heights stands in their way and the Panthers are looking for their 11th victory. The Bruins are back in action for the first time in a week after winning 3 in a row last Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. They topped Argus Bremen and South Bend Career Academy, but by the computer rankings, Prairie Heights, which comes in as number 24 in Class 2A in Jeff Sagarin's statewide rankings, certainly a tougher test than any of that competition. The Panthers come off that loss to West Noble this season, or earlier this season. That's the only common foe on these two teams' schedules thus far, although they are in adjacent counties. They will add some common opponents later in the season. Prairie Heights still has to play South Bend Career Academy, Fremont, Central Noble, Westview, Lakewood Park, Lakeland, and Hamilton, all of whom are Bethany opponents as well. And Bethany has to play Elkhart Christian coming up, along with Central Noble and Fairfield, Lakewood Park, and Fremont, all of whom are Prairie Heights opponents. But the common opponents certainly are backloaded as we look at the season. For Prairie Heights, it's been very much a two-man game this year. The Panthers getting, let's make sure I get the numbers right here, 21 points a game on 54% shooting from number 4, Chase Batchelor, also 17 points a game and 8.6 rebounds a game from Isaiah Malone. He's got an older brother, Elijah, you may have heard of, who now applies his trade on State Road 15, a little bit south of here at Grace College in Winona Lake. Bethany led in scoring by Tyson Chupp with 19 points a game. Chupp a 43% shooter from three-point range and 93% shooter at the foul line, and he's 11 points shy of the number 9 spot in Bethany Christian boys basketball scoring history. That's a pass that will come with some added meaning for Chupp because it's his own father in 9th place. Gary Chupp, now Bethany's athletic director, scored 814 points in his 2 years on the varsity from 1986 to 1988. Now Tyson at 803 as he finishes up his junior season. Of course, a couple of asterisks there being that Gary only played 2 years on the varsity and that the varsity season is now 22 games long where it used to be 18. At the end of the first quarter over in McEwen Gym in Dunlap, we just got the update that Bethany's girls are up 14-9 on Concord, and we've also got some starting lineup business to take care of before we start with the pregame preliminaries here on Buller Court this evening. As I mark these down in my scorebook, though, I'm noting that Prairie Heights has some decided advantages on the Bruins, namely that Prairie Heights has 6 players on their roster who are 6'5" or taller. Bethany's roster maxes out at 6'3" in Jacoby Reinhardt, and Justin Hostetler is 6'2". But the Bruins do shoot the ball at a higher clip than Prairie Heights does. At the same time, I'm reasonably certain that Delmer Bontrager, who is the Prairie Heights head coach in his second season, very well aware of the fact that Tyson Chupp scores 19 points a game and will do everything they can to make his life a little bit less pleasant. We're going to start with the starting lineups now for Prairie Heights as Leighton Byler, a 5'7" senior at one guard at 3.2 points a game. Logan Swigart, a 5'11" senior at another guard, 3.8 points a game. Byler is also leading the team with 42 assists. Chase Batchelor, the 6'5" senior, 5.4 rebounds and 21.3 points a game. He is shooting 66% from the floor and 32% from three-point range to lead Prairie Heights. Cade Batchelor, a 6'4" freshman at 2.7 points a game, and Isaiah Malone, a 6'7" senior, 17.1 points a game, 8.6 rebounds, and he leads the team at 72% from the foul line. We'll take a look at the Bruins starting lineup as well, but it should come as no surprise to those of you who have been following the team this season Tyson Shupp, a 6-foot junior, at 19 points a game. Carter Miller, a 5'10 junior, at 5.3 points a game. Jaden Schleybaugh, a 5'9 junior, 8.4 points a game. Jacoby Reinhardt, a 6'3 sophomore, at 8.7 points a game. And Justin Hostetler, who I said was 6'2", I shorted him an inch, he's 6'3". He rounds out the Bruin lineup at 3.8 points a game. With that, you see the spotlight turn off. We're going to reclaim our broadcast position here high above courtside, and we will get you the tip-off in a matter of moments. Prairie Heights in the traveling black uniforms, red numerals trimmed in white. They'll go from right to left on your streaming device here in the first half. Bethany, conversely, in the white uniforms with silver numerals trimmed in blue, as Prairie Heights wins the tip. And we are underway this evening at 7:27 p.m. here on Buller Court. Prairie Heights works the ball around the perimeter. That's Logan Swigart on the left side wing, giving the ball to Leighton Byler. Worked into the corner. Hostetler knocked the ball away, and before he was able to grab it to complete the turnover, Prairie Heights stepped out of bounds. So it'll be Bruin basketball, 7:44 to go first quarter. Bruins bring the ball up the floor in the hands of Tyson Shupp. Bounce pass to Hostetler in the free throw circle. Justin works over to the right side, hands off to Jaden Schleybaugh. Shupp left side corner. Got the defense all up in his grill. Goes baseline floater. Good. Tyson Shupp 2, Prairie Heights nothing. 36 seconds gone, first quarter. At the top of the circle, Byler for Prairie Heights. This is Swigart left side wing. They've got a couple of bachelors on the floor. I mean, I hope they're all bachelors. They're still in high school, but two guys who are named bachelor as the pass goes underneath and it's picked off by Reinhardt. Into the forecourt. The sophomore cuts over to the left side, shovels the ball back to Shupp on the left side wing. Shupp backs out around Hostetler. Stops and pops at the foul line. Good. Tyson Shupp with 4 points. Golden point for him. Team point number 4 by player number 4. And I was going to say, if I had left myself enough time in the pregame show, that with Prairie Heights' size advantage, I think the Bruins are going to need to make some hay in the shooting and turnover categories, because Prairie Heights has all the tools to out-rebound them. The Bruins have forced 3 Prairie Heights turnovers on 3 trips up the floor, and the Panthers have not attempted a shot yet. Here's Shupp in the lane. He turns around and shoots and misses it off the short side of the iron, but I could hear the contact up here, and the 93% foul shooter goes to the charity line. Prairie Heights foul 86 seconds into the ballgame. We'll send Shupp to the line for 2. Leighton Byler, his first foul, team foul number 1, and Shupp misses the front end of the free throws. The good news, of course, is that it's a 2-shot foul, so the second free throw was not contingent on his making the first, but I'm sure he'd like to make the second because they're called free for a reason, and he does. Shupp with 4 points. Or 5 points, excuse me. That's all the scoring. He's uniform number 4, which is what I was writing down, as Prairie Heights cycles the ball through uniform number 4. And now Bethany gets the turnover through uniform number 44, which is Justin Hostetler, who's the dude out there in the white uniform that looks like he could eat most of his teammates. I'm not saying that Justin would. That'd be ridiculous. But he's got the size to. Shupp gets his own offensive rebound. Schleybaugh skips the ball to Carter Miller, who drives baseline. Into the corner, Reinhardt lost the basketball out of bounds. So not the turnover, or not the start the Bruins were hoping for. I mean, hard to complain about a 5-0 lead and 4 turnovers on 4 Prairie Heights possessions. But they've also missed a free throw and turned the ball over once themselves in a very unforced fashion. Byler comes across the timeline, skips the ball into the left side corner, and slamming into the fire alarm pole station down there is Logan Swigart. That is his first turnover of the game, and Prairie Heights has come out in a very tense fashion with a 30-second timeout, a minute and 59 seconds into the ball game. Bethany Christian 5, Prairie Heights nothing. We want to remind you that coming up a week from tonight, the Bruins take on Wawasee. We'll have that action just like we did tonight with the JV game coming your way at 5:58. Varsity following at about 7:30, right here on BruinsVision. Bethany basketball off the Pampa turnover. Neither team making a change to the lineup. As Schleybaugh puts the ball into Shupp, and the Bruins can get their 3-possession lead out to a 4-possession lead here on this possession. Schleybaugh to Reinhardt, left side wing. Miller in the corner. down along the baseline, and he backs the ball out toward the perimeter, fires it underneath to Chupp, who runs into a much larger defender, which is something I'm going to say a lot tonight. 3-point try from Reinhardt off the short side of the iron. Rebound taken by Isaiah Malone, who's 6'7" and wearing uniform number 32. This is Byler at the top of the circle. Here's Malone. He fires top of the key and misses. Rebound deflected by Miller. Rebound taken down there by Prairie Heights. That's Cade Batchelor. Third shot on that trip is good, and it goes for Logan Swigart. That's what I was talking about in the sense of the Bruins needing to make hay while the sun shines in terms of shooting, rebounding, really doing everything, because Prairie Heights just a lot larger than them. And one of the taller Bruins in the starting lineup is Jacoby Reinhardt, who is 6'3", but noticeably not forward-sized on a horizontal basis. Justin Hostetler with the bucket. He's got 2 points. Bethany leads 7-2 with 3 minutes gone first quarter. The thing I worry about from a Bruin standpoint, though, is that Prairie Heights has turned the ball over 5 times already, and at the risk of sounding like a former Indiana head coach, water always finds its level. Prairie Heights too good to do that for 32 minutes. Panthers work the ball around the perimeter. That's Malone skipping it back out. Byler top of the circle. Malone's got it back on the wing, and they're going to get, looks like Hostetler. I thought they might get a push-off, but Hostetler called for his first personal, and foul trouble on a front line that's not very deep. Another thing the Bruins are going to have to be cognizant of. Hostetler picks up his first, but as far as dudes above 6 foot, it's Hostetler and Reinhardt who are on the floor, and Kyle Boyer, who's 6'5", but has pretty limited varsity experience. This is Malone, back out to Logan Swigart. He goes underneath for a turnaround shot that's no good. Chase Batchelor will go to the line where he's a 66% shooter, and I'm going to hope they didn't get who I think they got. Okay, they got Reinhardt, which is not a good option for the Bruins, but it is better than Hostetler picking up his second. So 2 fouls against that trio of post players for the Bruins as Batchelor's free throw rims out. The Bruins a pretty good free throw shooting team, 72.7%. Prairie Heights at 64% as Batchelor rolls in the second. So it's one area that the Bruins have an advantage over the Panthers, but not an enormous advantage. 7-3 Bethany with the lead. 4:14 to go first quarter. Hostetler holds the free throw circle. Handoff, Chupp off the screen. Got it for 3. Tyson's got 8 in the first quarter. 811 on the ledger for his career. You know, we can probably take that pregame graphic off the screen here. Pass goes underneath to Malone. Back out to the left side corner. Drive shot from Swigart, no good. Offensive rebound. Batchelor put back, yes. Batchelor on a personal 3-0 lead or run for Prairie Heights. Bruins lead 10-5 with 3:40 to go in the quarter. Hostetler in the free throw circle. Works to his left. Looks to get the pass underneath. Instead gives it to Carter Miller up top. Ball's knocked out to the timeline. Miller runs it down. Schleybaugh right side wing over to Reinhardt in the corner. Hostetler holds in the free throw circle. Now dribbles to his left and hands off to Carter Miller. Miller comes down the lane. Skips it into the corner. Schleybaugh back out to Reinhardt. Reinhardt off the screen from Hostetler. There's Batchelor on a scoop. And a score. Batchelor with 5 points tonight. Bethany with a couple of turnovers. And lead is back down to 3 at 10-7. Jesse Bontrager checking in at the scorer's table. So is James Lind. We'll see them when the dead ball permits as Chupp loses his dribble. Bounce passes back out to Carter Miller. Miller skips it into the corner. Schleybaugh. Schleybaugh looks back out. Has Hostetler at the right side slot. 2 dribbles to his left for Hostetler. He turns, shoots, and I think his shot got altered. Give Chupp the offensive rebound down underneath. Now there is contact as Reinhardt goes to the goal. Miller a 3 from the left side corner, good. Bruins have dialed long distance twice in the first quarter. Bethany 13, Prairie Heights 7. 2:31 left in the opening period. Driving baseline with the right hand is Byler. Back out to Malone on the left side elbow. Pulling up is Swigart, right side slot. 3 on the way from Batchelor, short side of the iron. 2 no good. Rebound, Carter Miller. Chupp will slow down for the Bruins as the ball comes eventually into the forecourt. There we go through the right side of the center jump circle. 2:12 to go, first quarter. Handoff back to Schleybaugh. Reinhardt on the wing. Miller left side corner where he just hit the 3. This is Chupp on the wing. Off a screen into the free throw lane. Back out to Reinhardt. He drives left side of the lane, lost the basketball, and tried to get it back. It squirted around like a greased pig, and Chupp misses the 3 from left of the circle. Prairie Heights has the rebound. They'll come back the other way as they have yet to make a sub with 1:45 to go in the first quarter. Wide open shot from the right side wing is off the short side of the iron. Batchelor has the rebound, gets the layup to go, and Chase Batchelor is already a third of the way to his season scoring average. He's got the last 7 points. Ball on the right side of the wing, or the right side wing, as Reinhardt gives it to Schleybaugh. Schleybaugh back to Hostetler in the slot. 1:23 to go first quarter. This is Chupp on the left side wing, driving around his defender, stops, pops, and scores. Tyson Chupp with 9 points in the first quarter. We've got a timeout on the floor with 1:16 to go. This is a 30-second timeout, which is a chance to remind you that the Bruin girls are also in action here on BruinsVision. 30-second timeout taken by the Bruins, so each team has burned a stoppage of the shorter variety. And the Bruin girls are in action Saturday against Culver Academy. Sorry, I cut myself off trying to do too many things at once in the middle of this conversation. Jesse Bontrager and James Lynn check into the game for the Bruins. As Prairie Heights comes the other way back to the top of the circle. This is Swigart back out to the top of the key. That's Matt Roberts, number 3 with the basketball. He was the Panther substitute. On the left side wing, Batchelor skips it into the corner. Roberts working from the right side wing, goes back into the corner. Lance Speck also checked into the game. He's number 5, working over on the right side wing. There's a drive underneath, as I'm not sure Reinhardt really got the block, but he forced the shot up into the bottom of the board. Rebound to Reinhardt. James Lind at the 4 spot for the Bruins right now. Here's Bontrager giving it to Lind on the left side wing. Lind drives baseline, looks to kick it out. There's nobody there. He's got Schleybaugh left side wing. Bontrager looks at Chupp. Bontrager cuts back to the right, gives the ball to Reinhardt with 25 seconds left in the quarter. Chupp top of the circle. Tyson spins in the free throw lane. Jumper on the way, and he got it. Tyson Chupp with 12 points tonight already. That gets him to 815 points for his career, which is 9th in school history, passing his father, as the Bruins have a 17-9 lead. Pass goes underneath from Malone, who lost the basketball and threw it up into the bottom of the rim. And goodness, let's spell the word history right if we're going to put that on the screen, folks. As the Bruins lead 17-9 at the quarter, we have 8 minutes down and 24 to go here on BruinsVision. It'll be Bethany basketball to start the second quarter. And we will again report that the Bruin girls are taking on Concord tonight. They were up 14-9 at the quarter break there. And it is... Goodness, we just about lost the pen out the window here, too. Everything's going wrong up here on the technology side. It is 14-9 Bethany at the quarter there. And we'll pass along updates as we get them. That game is running a few minutes ahead of us here. The girls started 15 minutes later. They are playing a half JV game tonight, followed by the full varsity game. So that varsity game started about 7:15. We tipped off at 7:27. You remember how Prairie Heights turned the ball over 5 times in the first 4 minutes, and I said they were too good to keep doing that? They have 5 turnovers at the end of the quarter. As we're going to see Caden Batchelor on the floor, along with Chase Batchelor, Leighton Byler, Isaiah Malone, and Lance Speck for Prairie Heights. The Bruins are going to answer with Carter Miller, and we got a wet spot on the floor in front of the bench, which will give me some time to vamp. That's always dangerous. Carter Miller on the floor, Tyson Chupp, James Lind, Justin Hostetler, and who else? Jesse Bontrager. And with Bontrager the topic of discussion, I want to mention that one of his claims to fame is really a claim to fame because it's no longer possible, as he was a semi-state qualifier in cross-country this year, and it is no longer possible to qualify for semi-state in cross-country because that round has just been eliminated. Ball back in play, Miller drives into the lane, and I thought that looked a little too easy. He picked up the ball and ran with it. Traveling violation on the Bruin guard. So ball over to Prairie Heights, quarter of a minute gone, second period. This is a Panther ball club that only mustered 9 points in the first quarter. Going downhill is Byler. He missed the shot, and Miller has the rebound. But this Prairie Heights team doesn't have problems shooting the ball. 51% from the floor, 32% from long range, and 64% at the line. This is Hostetler right side wing, looking to drive, has the ball knocked out, and they get Malone reaching in for the personal foul. Talking about how the Bruins are going to have the potential for some foul issues up front with the lack of depth in that category. Lind playing the 4 spot right now at 5'10". Getting Malone in foul trouble would help in the sense that he's the only 6'7" dude on the roster, but Prairie Heights has quite a bit of size at 6'4" or greater. This is Lind down in the right side corner for the Bruins. Back out to Miller, bounce pass to Hostetler, handoff Bontrager left slot. He backs up and fires a 3, and it rattles out. Schupp was a little too close for the rebound. Malone got that, and Prairie Heights comes the other way. Still an 8-point Bruin lead. Long way to go, though. 6:57 to go in the second quarter. Driving from the left side is Batchelor. Back out Malone. 3-pointer on the way, and he got it. Isaiah Malone into the scorer's book for the first time tonight. Well, at least for the scoring purposes. Did have that foul a moment ago. His first 3 points snaps a personal 7-point run for Chase Batchelor. And Prairie Heights is within 5, 17-12. Hostetler handoff, Chupp drives on the left side of the lane, shoots from the elbow, leaves it short. Rebound in there from Malone. Good block out by Batchelor that kept Bontrager from getting out to the basketball. 6:23 to go first half. Prairie Heights can cut that lead back to 1 possession with a score of either flavor on this possession. Here's Malone, left side corner, second 3 in a row. This one rattles out. Coming out to the rebound is James Lind. One thing he is not is huge. One thing he is quick and all over the place. Schupp walks the ball up the floor, goes diagonally over to the Buller Court insignia in front of the scorer's table. Has a screen from Hostetler, gives the ball to Bontrager in the corner. Jesse gets a screen from Schupp. Back out to Miller on the right side wing. That's Bontrager in the corner. Hostetler out at the right side elbow. 2 dribbles to his left. He comes to a stop in the free throw circle. Schupp works from the left side. He's got Byler up in his grill. Schupp has the ball knocked away as he tries to spin. Runs it down left side wing. This is Miller on the right side. He's going to drive to the goal. Back out to Lind, left of the circle. James has 2 points all year. He could have made that total go up with a 3-pointer there. Miller misses the 3. Offensive rebound to Bontrager, and Bontrager was out of bounds and didn't reestablish inbounds before he caught the pass. So give him the turnover, even though Miller threw the ball. Reinhardt and Schleybaugh back into the game for the Bruins. The Panthers are going to go to the bench as well. I see a 33 out there, Messiah Solis. He's down here where he'll take the inbound pass from Leighton Byler as the Panthers go from right to left on your streaming device. Byler across the timeline. That is Chase Batchelor in the right side corner. Back out to Byler on the wing. They reverse it over to Cade Batchelor left side. That's Batchelor again. Byler defended by Schleybaugh, who checked into the game for the Bruins. Solis back to the left side wing for Prairie Heights. 5:11 to go first half. Spinning down toward the goal is Batchelor. He threw the ball across the way, and Schleybaugh stepped in front. Jaden goes coast to coast, fakes one way and makes it with the left hand. Makes it the other way with the left hand, to be clear. That's Bethany's first points of the second quarter, but they've only held Prairie Heights to just 1 score as well, as it's a 7-point game, 19-12. Bounce pass goes underneath. Layup is good from Cade Batchelor. He's the freshman. I'm sorry, it was Solis, number 33, not number 23. Cade Batchelor is the freshman of the 2 Batchelor siblings, and he is at the point, a lot like what we saw from Tyson Schupp a couple of years ago. He's a freshman. He's going to be really good. He's just not there yet. Reinhardt misses the layup coming downhill on the left-hand side. Prairie Heights gets the ball across the timeline. I did not think Byler had landed in the forecourt before he caught the basketball. But did you see the officials ask me? No, you didn't. Solis underneath, misses the shot off the strong side of the iron. Rebound, tap back out to Malone, lays it in. Malone with 5 points. All of them here in the second quarter. Prairie Heights back within 3 at 19-16. The Bruins have led all the way to this point. Tyson Schupp's got a game-high 12, gives the ball to Hostetler in the free throw circle. This is Miller on the handoff. Schleybaugh left side wing. Back to Schupp, who's going to drive baseline, loses the defender, hands the ball off to Hostetler, who is 15 feet away. Reinhardt sidesteps the defender. Schleybaugh left side wing. Back rim no good. Rebound to Malone. Byler will bring it up the floor. Prairie Heights can tie with a 3 with 3:39 to go in the second quarter. Schleybaugh took the ball away, and I'm a little surprised they got Schleybaugh for the foul because it looked like Byler initiated most of the contact there. I'm not surprised, though, in the sense that you're a defensive player. It's real easy to pick up that foul. Matt Roberts back into the game for Prairie Heights, along with Logan Swigart. As departing for the men in black and red are someone whose number is directly behind the backboard from my current vantage point, and Cade Batchelor. Prairie Heights throws the ball back into the backcourt. Byler will bring it across the timeline, goes straight into the lane, out to Malone, left side wing. Malone brings it to the top of the circle. Ball's lost for a moment by Speck, who brings it back to the free throw line. Malone gets it back to the top of the key. Now a drive from the left side wing. Swigart knocked the ball away. Prairie Heights maintained possession. Robert came down with the save. Back out to Malone, left side wing. He's going to drive against Hostetler, and we've got a foul underneath. I'm not sure which one they're going to get it on. I believe it's the smaller of the two men. 32, Reinhardt. Okay, that's not a great option for the Bruins either. He's got 2 fouls. Roberts with the floater from the right side. Shupp has hands on the rebound, but it was ripped away from him, and the tie ball will go to Prairie Heights with 3:08 remaining. I thought this was a game where whoever you had in favored for whatever reason, it was the sort of thing where as Malone loses the basketball and falls down and is called for the traveling violation. It was the sort of thing where this game could really go either way, and I wasn't going to be surprised by either team winning so long as it wasn't a 20-point game. And so far, I would have to say that assessment has been on point. Someone please help me. I just used the phrase on point on the air. 3:05 to go, first half. Bruins have been outscored 7-2 in the second quarter. Tyson Shupp leads all players with 12 points, but Chase Batchelor has 7 to lead Prairie Heights. 19-16, Bruins in front. Year of Woodrow Wilson's re-election, if you're scoring at home. Shupp goes baseline, bounce pass out to Lind. They go into the corner for Schleybaugh. Hostetler in the free throw circle, pivots on his right foot. Gives the ball to Shupp off the screen, who loses the ball off his right foot, picks his dribble up and keeps going. Shupp on the right side wing, 2:40 to go in the half. Schleybaugh back to Hostetler, who's stayed in the game reasonably well with that one personal foul as Lind tried to pivot and move and took his pivot foot along for the ride. Traveling violation called against the Bruins. 6 turnovers for Bethany. Prairie Heights still with just those 5 from the first half. Now they've got 1 in the second quarter because Schleybaugh had that scoop and should have been a score on the other end. As Batchelor gets underneath for the layup. Prairie Heights now with 9 points in each quarter for 18. Bethany at 17-2 still has a 19-point advantage. Schleybaugh bounces outside right side wing. This is Hostetler to Lind left side corner. Bruins need some big minutes from Lind and Kyle Boyer here with Reinhardt on the bench in foul trouble. Schleybaugh drives the lane, gives it to Lind left side wing. Shupp is out between the circles with exactly 2 minutes left in the quarter. Tyson takes 3 dribbles to his right side wing, then drives baseline, cuts back out, gets into a triple team, shoots over the top of it and misses off the left side iron. Shupp with 12 points in the first quarter, takes the ball away. He will go to the goal through 3 defenders and miss the layup again. He has missed at least 3 shots that I remember in the second, was where I was going with that. Shupp could be most of the way to his career high by now if everything had gone in. Of course, if everything went in, this game would be a whole lot simpler. Batchelor now with 12. He matches Shupp for the game high, and he puts Prairie Heights out on top of the 3-point field goal. 21-19, Panthers out in front. 80 seconds to go, first half. Schleybaugh out at the top of the circle, gave the ball to Shupp, lost the ball. Prairie Heights slid into the backcourt. I thought there was a kick going there. It's going to be out of bounds. They're going to say that it hit Batchelor last, and it will go to the Bruins. Please do not ask me where the turnovers were on that play. It was sort of a debacle. Jesse Bontrager back in for the Bruins as Lind goes to the bench. Prairie Heights puts, Byler back into the game. Prairie Heights with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 32 in the game if you're scoring at home. Byler, Swigart, Roberts, Chase Batchelor, Isaiah Malone. Bruins counter with Shupp, Bontrager, Schleybaugh, Justin Hostetler, and over in the corner is Carter Miller. His 3's off back iron. Bontrager had his hands on the rebound and just flat out got bodied out of the way by Isaiah Malone. Malone will do that to people. Byler, top of the circle, over into the corner. Bontrager goes down, and a good job of getting in front of the defense from the quickest man on the Bruin roster. Turnover on Batchelor, who's called for the charging foul. 7 Prairie Heights turnovers, 6 for the Bruins, 48 seconds to go, second quarter. Prairie Heights 21, Bethany 19. This is Schleybaugh walking the ball through the forecourt. He goes over to the right side wing, looks back at Shupp, and Shupp cut one way and the pass went the other. Getting the rebound is Batchelor, and they're going to get Shupp on the arm foul. Not a terrible thing in the sense that it's Shupp's first foul, and the free throws probably have a better expectation of value for the Bruins than the breakaway layup did. Batchelor 1 out of 2 with the charity line so far tonight. He's got 12 points, and he makes the first free throw. Batchelor, I think, is on a personal 6-0 run. Second free throw on the way, good as well, making a personal 7-0 run. Prairie Heights has its largest lead of the game at 23-19. This is Schleybaugh on the right side for the Bruins. He's got to get the ball into the forecourt because he's running the point right now as the offense has bogged down as they took Lind out of the game and moved some people around. That's a couple of turnovers as the Bruins have brought the ball up the floor even before they got into their offense as the ball goes back to Prairie Heights. Bruins by a lot in the first quarter, Prairie Heights by a lot in the second, and it's Panthers 23-19 on the final possession of the first half. Holding out on the left side wing, that is Swigert with the basketball. Back in the corner, we're going to get one more shot. Batchelor top of the circle. 4 seconds to go. Roberts underneath. Lost the basketball. Carter Miller slid over to pick it up. And we have a traveling violation called on the Bruins as Miller slid with the ball with 0.2 of a second to go. So the Prairie Heights opportunities are limited, but they do get a possession as the ball comes in and there is no shot available to them. But Prairie Heights outscores the Bruins 14-2 in the second quarter. And we will take a look at our unofficial halftime scoring and take a look then at our halftime shootout as that goes on the screen here. But before we do that, we want to let you know that the Bruin girls are taking on Concord right now over in Dunlap, and let's see if we can get an update on that game. I just heard one, I heard the announcement made, but I didn't hear what it was. Bethany leads 28-12 over there at McEwen Gym. Let's take a look at the unofficial halftime scoring. For the Bruins, Tyson Shupp with 12. That's great. The issue is that the rest of the roster has 7. Carter Miller's got 3. Jaden Schleybaugh with 2. Justin Hostetler with 2. Big opportunity for Bruins not named Shupp to pick up the slack in the second half. For Prairie Heights, Logan Swigart with 2. Chase Batchelor with 12. Isaiah Malone with 5 and Messiah Solis with 2. It's your classic two-man game where the Bruins are doing a pretty good job keeping Malone off the score sheet, and Batchelor is making him pay. He is 57% of the way to his season scoring average. A little bit less, but I didn't want to divide by 21.3 because you can't score 21.3 points. Anyway, 16 minutes down, 16 minutes to go. Prairie Heights 23, Bethany 19. We'll be back with the second half in about 7.5 minutes. And you're watching BruinsVision. Welcome back to Bethany Christian Schools in Goshen, Indiana, where before we are getting ready for the second half as Prairie Heights leads Bethany Christian 23-19. I'm Tony Miller up here high above the east end zone in the catbird seat looking out on the floor where the Panthers are just coming back out. It'll be Bethany basketball to start the third quarter, and we'll see if they can go on a little bit of a run to get things started and put the momentum back in their court. Before we get started with the second half, though, I do want to take a moment to give, and not a birthday shout-out, but a half-birthday shout-out to somebody that puts in a lot of work behind the scenes, and that's Athletic Director Gary Chupp, whose birthday is in January, so he just celebrated his half-birthday yesterday. I realize you think being an athletic director is kind of a glamour job, but on the other hand, it also means that you're in charge of a whole bunch of stuff that nobody wants to do. When we were troubleshooting the stream this week, we had to work that in around a psychology class and a trip to Sam's Club to restock the concession stand, and those are just a few of the things that Mr. Chupp has to deal with on a daily basis to help keep the lights on around here and make athletic opportunities possible for the Bruins and their opponents. So shout out to him. We're getting ready to start the third quarter, though, and for the Bruins, the big story of the night is that, well, Gary Chupp is now 10th on the all-time scoring list because Tyson, his son, just passed him for 9th place, as it'll be Bethany basketball headed from right to left as we get started on quarter number 3. Bruins go back to their starters. Carter Miller triggering the inbound pass, Chupp and Schleybaugh in the backcourt, Reinhardt and Hostetler up front. Chupp at the point here brings the ball across the timeline. Bruins were outscored 14-2 in the second quarter, and I think just need to get the ball in the hoop by whatever means necessary, which was not intended to be a Malcolm X reference, but it does work as one on the day after Martin Luther King Day. The other end of the floor, Prairie Heights gets the rebound, and the pass goes underneath from Batchelor to Logan Swigart, who is in the book for the first time in the second half. Prairie Heights now on a 16-2 run over the last 8.5 minutes, and their lead is 6, which is as large as it's been tonight. I know it was at least a 9-point Panther run because I remember making a comment when it was 19-16 as the ball is through the hands of Reinhardt and out of bounds for the Bruins. Prairie Heights turned the ball over 5 times in the first 4 minutes and has done it just twice the rest of the way. Panther basketball once again, 7:17 to go, third quarter, as they've got the ball out on the right side wing in the hands of Cade Batchelor. That's Chase Batchelor going into the corner for Logan Swigart. Back at the top of the circle, Batchelor to Batchelor. Underneath to Isaiah Malone working on Hostetler. Out on the left side wing, bounce pass comes underneath Swigart. Malone in the lane, good. And while there's an opportunity for Bruins not named Tyson Chupp to step up, the rest of the team combined for 7 points in the first half and hasn't added to that total here in the first minute of the second half. The one thing I would be worried about for the Bruins is more Isaiah Malone, because he was limited to 5 points in the first half, and he's averaging 17 and 9 on the season. This is Schleybaugh on the left side wing. Bruins trail by 8 as the pass goes into the corner to Miller. Miller's got to get the ball out. Hostetler's got it top of the circle, and Schleybaugh fires from the top of the circle and scores. Jaden Schleybaugh now with 5 points tonight. He gets his first triple of the game. Carter Miller also had one of those earlier, and the thing the Bruins are going to have to do here is the three-point try from Prairie Heights is too strong, and the rebound is out of bounds off Prairie Heights. The thing is that if the Bruins are behind, as much as there's a tendency when you're behind to try to work the ball and try to get the best shot possible, and if you're behind more than a couple of possessions, the reality is that while you need to do that, you also just need to put up shots, because you can't score, you miss. As Michael Scott once said, 100% of the shots you don't take. Ball squirts around and nobody's shooting it. Prairie Heights comes away with the turnover down there. 5:53 to go in the third quarter as Schleybaugh takes the ball away. He spins around a defender. Now the Bruins come into a half court. Schleybaugh underneath to Miller, left side block, and he rolls it in. So Bethany starts the half with 5 straight points from players not named Chupp. They get the ball back to 27-24. On Prairie Heights' 8th turnover of the game. This is Malone working against Hostetler. Ball was knocked away from him. We'll give Hostetler the block up here, although nobody asks about my block stats. It's Schleybaugh coming the other way with the basketball. Bruins can tie the score with a 3 on this possession. This is Hostetler in the free throw circle. Running past him is Batchelor going for the steal. Schleybaugh on the handoff. Stops, pops, gets around the man at the free throw line, and I don't know how that shot rolled in, but it did. Schleybaugh with 5 of his 7 here in the second half. Bethany back within 1, 27-26. It bears repeating that Prairie Heights was up 27-19 a couple of minutes ago. So a 7-0 Bruin run. Out on the left side wing, that is Coming into the lane is Leighton Byler. Driving through a couple of Bruin defenders is Batchelor underneath to Malone with the slam. Shout out to Eddie Doucette for coining the phrase slam dunk for the record. It does make the rest of our lives a little bit easier in this profession. 29-26. Prairie Heights in front by 3. Hostetler top of the circle for the Bruins. Handoff comes to Reinhardt left of the circle. Jacoby dribbles once to his right, gives the ball back to Hostetler. Hostetler looks at Shupp in the corner. Shupp had 12 of Bethany's 17 in the first quarter. They've done a good job of neutralizing him since, but Jaden Schleybaugh has 8 since the intermission, and we are tied at 29. Schleybaugh now with 10 points. He's into double figures. And we have solved absolutely nothing with 12 minutes, 10 seconds to go. 3-point try from Prairie Heights, too strong. Rebound is in. It was Miller getting in on the rebound, and they're going to get Batchelor doing too much with the wrong body parts to pick up the foul. Batchelor's first personal, team foul number 1 on Prairie Heights. And we're going to get Lance Speck into the ball game for the Panthers. Chupp and Schleybaugh in the backcourt, coming down on the midpoint of the third quarter. Chupp runs it across the timeline, just barely across the timeline, almost went over and back as he stood up. Hostetler in the free throw circle. Schleybaugh, left side corner, 3, got it! Jaden Schleybaugh has 11 points in the last 4 minutes. In fact, Jaden Schleybaugh has taken over from Tyson Chupp as Bethany's leading scorer. Down the lane, Schweigart has the ball knocked away. Chupp picks it up on the floor. We're going to get a tie ball here. It's a matter of when. And it'll go to Prairie Heights with 3:37 left in the third. Bruins by 3, 32-29. It's a 15-2 Bethany run, 13-2 Bethany run. I do know how to subtract, although it's dangerous on the air. Malone with the runner, left it short. Hostetler on the rebound. Reinhardt gives the ball to Schleybaugh, who brings it up the floor for the Bruins. Schleybaugh goes left side wing. Reinhardt, baseline. Back out to Schleybaugh, looking at Schleybaugh, and he turned it over. Coming up the floor is Batchelor for Prairie Heights. Schleybaugh got back and at least made him back up. Shot over Hostetler is good, as Malone does a good job of not touching the basketball while it's on the rim. That would have been basket interference and a turnover for the Panthers. They trim the deficit to 1, though, and we've got a timeout on the floor. No, we have an official's timeout on the floor. And we need to see exactly what the stoppage is. I'm not sure if we have an injured player on the floor or if we have Jaden Schleybaugh. Looks like he's favoring a leg as he tries to walk it off on the sideline. So Jesse Bontrager into the game for the Bruins. So, that means the hot shooting hand is gone. I did refer to Bontrager earlier in the game as the quickest man on the floor, and I think I will stand by that. Shupp leaves the floater short. That's been a recurring theme with him. When he drives to the goal, he's pretty talented, but he likes to sort of back off and let the shot do the work for him, and I'm not sure that's a good look. Reinhardt got the steal and had the shot blocked. Now a fresh possession for the Bruins. Shupp puts the ball into Hostetler left side corner. He's going to hand it to Bontrager. Bontrager brings it back toward the circle. In the free throw lane, stops, gives the ball to Carter Miller. Miller throws it out looking for Reinhardt. It's picked off by Batchelor. Good job by Miller of getting back on defense and uses the rim to screen Batchelor, missing the layup. Bethany with the ball back in a 1-point lead, 32-31. Shupp, jumper left side elbow off the iron, front rim. Again, Tyson Shupp had 12 points in the first quarter, and he's still on 12. Malone drives left side wing. He ran into 3 different Bruins. Shot's going to count. That's a generous continuation of the play, I thought, but such is life. Give the basket to Malone. He's got 6 since halftime. We'll try to make it 7. And the Bruin foul is on Tyson Shupp, his second personal, team foul number 1. Had to stop and check who that foul was on because it could have been on a couple of players as Malone rolls into free throw. Malone ran into 60% of the Bruin lineup while he waited for that ball to drop. Prairie Heights by 2 after the 3-point play. 34-32, 2:13 to go, third quarter. Bontrager left side elbow, handoff Justin Hostetler. Hostetler works over to his left. This is Reinhardt coming downhill into the lane, and he gets a blocking foul on Prairie Heights. It'll be a fresh possession for the Bruins. Messiah Solis picks up his third personal. It's the 6th foul on Prairie Heights. The 5th foul on Prairie Heights in the game. And right now, I talked about maybe they can get foul trouble going. Prairie Heights does not have any player with more than 1 personal foul. Ball had to be saved back inbounds by Reinhardt off the Chup inbound. This is Hostetler in the free throw circle. Handoff, Bontrager left slot. Jesse stops and pops at the elbow and misses the shot too strong. Rebound taken by Byler. Chup defending him. He just picked up his second foul. Nobody's got more than 2 for the Bruins. Prairie Heights gets the ball into the right side corner, now works it around the perimeter. This is Swigart left side wing. Top of the circle, Solis back to Malone. He's in the free throw lane, fires from 13 feet and misses. Hostetler on the rebound for the Bruins, who can tie with a 2 or take the lead with a 3, and 92 seconds are left in the third quarter. Chup comes into the free throw circle. Backs out, goes left side with the ball in his left hand. Back to Hostetler in the free throw circle. Justin dribbles, hands off to Jesse Bontrager. Bontrager looks to his left, gives it right instead to Jacoby Reinhardt. Back to Hostetler, who I'm not sure has left the floor in 23 minutes tonight. His pass to Bontrager, a little bit over the top of the 5'10" guard. This is Miller in the corner as we come down on 66 seconds left, third period. Hostetler cuts to the goal, back out to Bontrager. He will fire from inside the arc and score. Jesse Bontrager into the book for the first time tonight, at least for the first time for scoring or fouling purposes, and we are tied at 34. 51 seconds remaining, third period. That's Swigart going outside to the right. Malone, right slot 3, good. That was just sort of nonchalant enough out of his hands that I was hoping it wouldn't go in. Alas, it did. 37-34, Prairie Heights in front. Reinhardt scoops and scores with the left. Now, it's one of those moments where it occurs to me that might be Reinhardt's stronger hand. I can't remember if he's left-handed or right-handed. We'll figure that out sometime between now and our next BruinsVision telecast on Tuesday. In the corner, this is Lance Speck with the basketball. Back to Swigart, 14 seconds left in the third. Underneath, pass was deflected away from Malone. It was retrieved by Solis. The rebound comes out to Swigart. He lost the basketball. Chup with the steal into the forecourt. Ahead to Bontrager, 2 seconds to go. He stops and they're going to call the blocking foul before the shot. So the Bruins will get a fresh possession with just enough time to do something with it. But it was probably a good call. Lance Speck with his first personal, team foul number 3. No shots for the Bruins at the foul line, but they will put in the 3-point shooting unit, except for Chup. So we're going to get wholesale substitutions. It'll be Bethany basketball on the baseline. 1.3 to go. Schleybaugh came in. He'll trigger the inbound. Throws it up over the top. Pass is deflected, grabbed by Bontrager, and he won't get a shot off. So the Bruins get another 17 points in the third quarter. They trim their deficit to 37-36. The issue right now has not been the odd-numbered quarters for the Bruins. It's been the even-numbered ones. Bethany scored just twice in the second stanza. For Prairie Heights, 13 points in the third. I was right the first time. 37 points for the Panthers. As let's see, I am missing a free throw somewhere in that quarter. Malone had the 3-point play. So he led all scorers with 10 of the 14 for Prairie Heights in the third. While we've got a moment, want to take a second to recognize the Bruin girls. They're up 36-22 after 3 periods over in Dunlap. And we don't have leading scorers on that game, but I'm sure we'll track those down as the games conclude here. I think the same people that run the Twitter account are doing the scorekeeping. So we'll get that figured out as the games wrap up. Bethany basketball to start the fourth quarter. So the Bruins could have gone 2 for 1, except for the deflection on the inbound pass. For Prairie Heights, I see Byler and Matt Roberts out there up top. Chase Batchelor in the ball game. Also, number 23, Cade Batchelor, and number 32, Isaiah Malone. Bruins will counter with Miller, Schleybaugh, Bontrager, Lind, and Reinhardt. Schupp getting the extended blow across the quarter break. Schleybaugh gets the ball in the backcourt. He's going to cross over and come across the timeline 6 seconds into the third quarter. James Lind getting his first run of the second half. Got some big minutes middle of the first quarter with Reinhardt on the bench in foul trouble. Bontrager, right side wing 3, was short all the way. Rebound taken by Byler. Prairie Heights across the timeline. Malone downhill, and he traveled, which is about the only thing that was going to save the Bruins from getting posterized. Prairie Heights with 5 second-half turnovers. Bruins with 11 giveaways for the game. Panthers with 10. Bethany basketball. Any sort of points will do to tie the score. 2 points would give them the lead. 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. Bontrager, right side wing, gives the ball back to Reinhardt. Toes on the three-point line. Bontrager's in the corner. Comes back toward the top of the circle. Looks at Miller. Looks back at the corner. There's nobody there. Schleybaugh in the lane. Bounce past Miller in the left side corner. Miller out to Lind. This is Reinhardt, left side wing. 3. Got it! Reinhardt is Bethany's second leading scorer. He was held off the score sheet in the first half, but he's got 5 in the second, and the Bruins lead by 2, 39-37. Roberts throws the ball into the corner for Chase Batchelor. Now Roberts has it back high on the left side wing. Over on the right side, Byler works it down into the corner. Malone calls for the ball. Instead, a three-point shot goes up, and Bontrager has the rebound. Jesse's only 5'10", second smallest man on the team. But boy, does he put himself in the right spot for a rebound all the stinking time. Miller leaves the floater short. Rebound to Malone. 6:34 fourth quarter. Bruins by 2. Byler top of the circle. This is Malone. Back to Byler on the right side wing. He looks into the corner. That is Cade Batchelor with the basketball. Robert cycles it to the other side. Batchelor drives baseline, and not a bad foul on James Lind, which will stop the offense before the Panthers get a chance to combobulate. 6:21 to go in the fourth. Foul on Lind is his first, team second. Bruins are going to put a couple of starters back into the ball game. Tyson Schupp and Justin Hostetler as Lind departs, and so does Reinhardt. As I think Swigart checked back in for Prairie Heights. Prairie Heights throw in, locked to the spot as Malone gets it on the left side elbow. He shovels back to Batchelor on the wing. Now Malone on the screen. Shooting over the double team as Batchelor shot rattles out. Rebound Carter Miller. When you're outsized, you can't rebound with your arms. That's how a lot of undersized teams get into foul trouble. The Bruins doing a good job of getting position and blocking out on the boards tonight. Schleybaugh's got 13 points, 11 of those after halftime. Bontrager, left side elbow jumper short. Rebound Malone. 5:54 to go fourth quarter. Coming across the timeline is Batchelor. This is Swigart stopping on the left side wing. Byler out between the rings, works to his right. Goes around a man, runs into Hostetler. Back out to Swigart, wide open 3, and he missed. Rebound into the corner to Carter Miller. Schupp runs the ball up the floor with 5:36 to go. Bontrager accidentally pivots on his left foot. He caught the ball and drop-stepped with his right, but he was about 17 feet from goal. That's Schupp on the left side wing. Goes down toward the baseline, has the ball knocked out, and Carter Miller saves him. Miller back to Schupp on the right side elbow. Schupp back to the corner from Miller. Schupp scored 12 in the first quarter and hasn't been heard from on the score sheet since. Schleybaugh, left side corner, goes baseline. Back to the corner for Schupp. 5:12 left in regulation. Schupp, the little floater, got it. Tyson with 14. Bruins with 4, or Bruins by 4. Schupp, Tyson Schupp on the PA system. I think that makes him sound like James Bond, for the record. We're not here to talk about Bond. Malone for 3, top of the circle, and that's how you answer. Malone with 18 tonight. That is above his season average. He only had 5 in the first half. A lot of Malone for the Panthers tonight. It's almost like the Malones are good or something. I mentioned Elijah Malone. I forget what all accolades he's picked up in the Crossroads League down at Grace, but it's been a lot of them. Hostetler, left side or right side wing for the Bruins. This is Miller on the left side. Bethany still leads by 1. 4:24 to go, fourth quarter. Schupp goes behind his back in the free throw circle. Lost the ball. Schleybaugh bails him out. Thought about the bounce pass. Instead, Bontrager, corner 3, skips off the iron. Rebound taken by Prairie Heights. Any old kind of point would tie it for the Panthers. 4:09 to go in the fourth quarter, and to say neither team feels comfortable with their formula would be an understatement in a one-point game. Off the screen underneath, he passes picked off by Schupp. Tyson comes into the forecourt. He's going to take it himself. Layup rejected by Malone. Didn't think he could get down there, but he did. Malone on the right side wing gives the ball to Swigart. Now Malone's got it back in a corner. Batchelor spins into the lane, lost the basketball, and Bontrager scooped it up, and he double dribbled. Dueling turnovers. Ball goes back to Prairie Heights as Jacoby Reinhardt's going to check in for Bontrager. Bontrager's not super sure what he did wrong there. That's honestly, I can live with that turnover. When you're trying, I would rather have you try to make a little too much happen than not quite enough. Prairie Heights basketball down by a point. 3:44 to go. Ball is in. Coming into the lane. Batchelor spins around Reinhardt, shoots an air ball on the layup attempt. Shupp gets the rebound. He's going to come to the forecourt with 3:33 to go. Handoff, well, he thought about the handoff, and Carter Miller got too far away. Shupp drives baseline, and he got shoved into the baseline. Pushing foul on Prairie Heights as we start to monitor that that's their fourth personal foul of the half. Leighton Byler picks up his second, team foul number 4. Matt Roberts, the 5'9 junior, comes off the bench for Prairie Heights. Fresh possession for the Bruins, who lead by the slimmest of margins with 3:28 to go. Shupp underneath the goal. Triggers the inbound, and we've got, I don't know what we've got. Ball got knocked back out of bounds in his face, I think. Another fresh possession. Looks one way, throws it over the top to Reinhardt, right side wing. Ball in, 3:23 to go, fourth quarter. Hostetler badgered by Malone. Miller able to bring it out of the quarter. Carter cuts into the free throw lane, goes to the goal and misses the layup. Rebound to a wide open Batchelor. Pass over the top for a layup from Swigard, and Prairie Heights is back in front. 42-41, Panthers by 1 with 3:06 to go, fourth quarter. I think we have reached the point where this is not a bad loss for either team. Both of these teams coming in well above the 500 mark. Prairie Heights is 24th in the 2A computer rankings. The Bruins 31st in 1A. Shupp stands in the corner, skips the ball to Carter Miller, right side wing three. Got it! Carter Miller for 3. Bruins by 2, 44-42 with 2:40 to go. Roberts on the right side wing for Prairie Heights. Crosses over, goes to his left to get around Miller, comes to the free throw circle and backs it out. Swigard on the left side wing. Malone drives downhill, got around Hostetler, and he traveled! That's the second time that Malone has turned the ball over before an uncontested shot in the lane. Timeout Bethany with 2:29 to go in the fourth. Full timeout taken by the Bruins. The Bruins have 3 timeouts left. The Panthers have 4, and I have a sneaking suspicion that we will be resetting that information a lot in the last 149 seconds. Prairie Heights 3 fulls in the 30. The Bruins 2 fulls in the 30. The alternating arrow favors Prairie Heights, but Prairie Heights with 2 fouls to give before the Bruins go to the foul line. It's a full timeout, and we remind you the Bruins are back in action on Saturday when they take on another NECC foe in Hamilton. Prairie Heights hasn't played Hamilton, so I can't give you a comparative score line on that one yet, but Hamilton is... West Noble's at the top of the NECC, right? And both of these teams have losses to West Noble. Hamilton is on the other end of the standings. Now it's the 6 o'clock JV tip-off. Varsity follows Saturday at 7:30. We're back here, same Bruin time, same Bruin channel next Tuesday as Bethany takes on Wawasee. JV pregame 5:58. Varsity tip-off following about 7:30. We've got all the action for you here on BruinsVision. Off the Prairie Heights turnover, let's reset the Panthers on the floor. It's the 4 guards that lead the way in the program. Byler, Swigart, Roberts, Chase Batchelor, along with Isaiah Malone. Bruins need to come out onto the floor pronto, or we're looking at a delay of game situation. And they're going to come out. Shupp, Miller, Schleybaugh, Reinhardt, and Hostetler. As you'd expect, Bruins go to their starters with 2:29 to go in regulation. Bethany by 2, Bethany with the ball. Schleybaugh triggers the inbound pass to Miller. He stepped on the sideline. I thought they were going to get Swigart for the foul. It's a turnover for the Bruins, so gratuitous turnovers in both directions. Give the ball back to Prairie Heights. 2 seconds runs off the game clock with 2:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Swigart triggers the inbound, left side sideline. Lob goes underneath the Batchelor, lets the defenders get past him and lays it in. Batchelor with 16 points. Tie game at 44. 2:18 in regulation. Shupp up the right side sideline. Shupp down to the corner. Stops on the left side, gets the screen from Hostetler, tries to go underneath, and they give a foul reaching in to try to steal the ball. One thing that I see on this Prairie Heights schedule listing as Leighton Byler picks up his first personal foul, or his third, team's 5th, is that Prairie Heights has played probably more close games this year than the Bruins have. Reinhardt is the fulcrum to get the ball to Shupp in the left side block. That's Carter Miller out at the top of the circle. Reinhardt in the corner with 2 minutes to go in regulation time. Jacoby into the free throw circle. Hostetler open right side corner. Big man gives the ball to little man. Carter Miller left side slot. One bounce to his right, and he threw the ball past Tyson Shupp and out of bounds. The Bruins' early season tendencies of being loose with the basketball have come back at inopportune moments in the second and fourth quarters. Bethany's 14th turnover of the night. They forced 12, but 5 of those for Prairie Heights were in the first 4 minutes. Bounce pass comes to Swigart, right side wing. This is Malone left side with 1:40 to go. Up the left side wing, Byler goes down toward the baseline. Malone left side leads the team and leads everybody in scoring. He's got 18 points tonight. This is Swigart running into the lane, pivots on his left foot. Out to Roberts, right side wing. Roberts, baseline floater fouled with 1:27 remaining. Carter Miller picks up his first personal, team foul number 3. That's going to put Roberts on the foul line. And one thing we talked about is an area where Bethany has an advantage on the Panthers is at the foul line. Roberts is 0 for 2 with the stripe this year. First free throw, front iron, and well off the front iron. Now, of course, the issue here is that Prairie Heights, with the possible exception of Justin Hostetler, Prairie Heights can move the Bruins out of the way on defense pretty much to a man. Second free throw, off front iron, rebound Tyson Shupp. Tie game, 85 seconds left in regulation. Shupp crosses to his right hand, now back to his left through the toes of the Bruin paw at center. Shupp goes baseline, back out to Reinhardt, 1:16 to go in the fourth. Reinhardt holds the basketball. Prairie Heights can foul and stop the offense, and they're going to get a foul on Batchelor, which will stop the clock with 1:10 to go. Chase Batchelor picks up his second, team foul number 6, and that means that once the ball comes back into play, a Prairie Heights foul puts the Bruins back on the line. Schleybaugh gives the ball to Reinhardt. That is Hostetler who has the ball knocked away by Malone. Hostetler back down the floor. He fouled Malone. Are they going to get it on the floor or on the way up? I think they're going to get him on the way up, as the foul is called on Hostetler. No, they're going to get it on the base or on the floor. Hostetler picks up his second, team foul number 4. They're going to say he got all up into Malone's business well before the shot went up, as Batchelor's layup spins off left side of the iron. Batchelor gets it back, goes up over Hostetler, leaves it short. Rebound Hostetler. 52 seconds to go in regulation. Schleybaugh, bounce pass underneath. Miller left the layup short. Rebound kept alive by Miller. Picked up off the floor by Swigart. Prairie Heights comes up the floor, and we have a timeout called by Prairie Heights. 43 and 5/10 seconds remaining in regulation, and do not go anywhere. This is a full timeout called by the Panthers. So each team has 3 timeouts remaining, 2 fulls and a 30. Prairie Heights can put Bethany on the line with a foul. The Bruins have 2 more fouls to give. And goodness gracious, with 44-44 our score in 4 seconds in the fourth period and a number of seconds left that starts with a 4, there are an awful lot of 4s on that scoreboard. Prairie Heights basketball. Prairie Heights has the alternating arrow. At the same time, there's an awful lot. We are reaching the point where if Prairie Heights misses, it could be Bruin ball with a chance to win in a tie game. There's the first warning horn. Each team with plenty of timeouts available if they get into a tie-up situation or a 5-second situation. Prairie Heights comes out. I see Byler up top. I see Malone down low. Swigart and Batchelor also on the floor. Do they have a 5th? Must be over in the corner. Not seeing him. Ball comes in along the sideline in the backcourt. Batchelor walks not quite to the forecourt. Gives it to Byler with 36 seconds to go, fourth period. Pass over to Batchelor. I think Prairie Heights would gladly hold for the last shot and not let Bethany beat them on the other end. Byler right side wing, defended by Schleybaugh, down to 26 seconds to go. Byler bounces over to the left side, gives the ball to Batchelor, 22 on the game clock. Reinhardt up high. Batchelor throws it over to the left side. Byler just about took it over and back. Byler runs into Schleybaugh, who gives the foul to stop the clock. Not an awful thing in the sense that Bethany had fouls to give. Schleybaugh's second personal, team foul number 5. Prairie Heights basketball, 14 and 3/10 to go. They've got to get Daniel Mast off the court. He's out about 6 feet directing traffic, and I think Carter Miller had to point out to him that he's the reason we're waiting. Pass comes into the corner. It got tipped out of bounds. Reinhardt knocked it off Malone. It goes to the Bruins with 13 and 7/10 seconds to go. And Prairie Heights threw that right down the chute into our broadcast, or underneath our broadcast position. Absolutely a good call by the official down in this corner. I can't see what his name is, but it's going to be on the baseline, locked to the spot where the three-point arc meets the baseline. 13 and 7/10 seconds remaining. Full timeout called by the Bruins. I'm curious if we have a final score on the Bruin girls game yet. If I do, I'm going to hold it for you, and we'll talk about it post-game. It's been 22 minutes since the girls finished the third quarter. But I thought that was a very good job from our officiating crew of waiting, letting the play out, and not just assuming that it was out off the defense because they hit it first. Malone reached for the basketball, and it squirted over here under the letter O in the wall that says home of the Bruins. Bethany ball, 14 seconds left in regulation time. It is Byler, Swigart, Roberts, Chase Batchelor, and Isaiah Malone on the floor for Prairie Heights. If Bethany scores, you got to imagine Prairie Heights answers with a timeout, because in high school, the clock runs on a made basket, even in the fourth quarter. Bruins go to their starting lineup. Reinhardt, who's 6'3", and has the chance to throw it in. Timeout taken by Bethany with 13 and 7/10 remaining. So Bethany is down to one timeout. I think they wanted to see how Prairie Heights was going to play that. Bruins down to one timeout. It's a full. Prairie Heights has 3, 2 fulls and a 30. Okay, the signal out of a full was that's what they have left. Still a 30-second timeout. Both teams huddling well away from the bench. If Prairie Heights fouls the Bruins, free throws will ensue. So in a tie game, you shouldn't see the thing where they foul somebody to prevent a three-point shot, because Bethany shoots 73% at the line as a team. Shupp, a 93% shooter. Reinhardt shoots 74%. Schleybaugh, right side sideline, takes the inbound pass. 10 seconds to go. Lob into the lane, comes to Hostetler. He gives the ball back out. Hostetler goes down. On the other end of the floor, the running layup no good. Malone misses the slam. Shupp, out ahead to Schleybaugh. Horn, got it! They say every time you come to a sporting event, you might see something you have never seen before, and I cannot say that I have ever witnessed the end of that game. The signal at the table was a three-pointer. It should be 47-44. We'll check with the table on exactly what the final score is, but of all the ways that game could end, I don't think that was on the list. The Bruins win their fourth in a row for the second time this season. They're 9-4, 3-0 in the Hoosier Plains Conference. Prairie Heights finishes at drops to 10-3. In a year that I'm not going to say that. But the Bruins prevail after getting outscored 14-2 in the second quarter. Jaden Schleybaugh off the outlet pass at the horn, and Bethany comes away with the win. Let's take a look at our unofficial postgame scoring. Tyson Shupp with 14 points. Carter Miller has 8. Jaden Schleybaugh, in my book, has 16. The official book, as they have changed it to 47-44, the signal was made three-point shot. There was confusion because the signal was count the basket and then up with the three-point signal, but it is a triple for the Bruins. Let's see, 16 for Schleybaugh and 5 for Jacoby Reinhardt. Also 2 for Justin Hostetler. I sure hope that adds up. It doesn't. I sure hope that adds up for somebody somewhere along the line. Check the Twitter account after the game. That's all I have to say. We'll take a look at the Prairie Heights scoring. Logan Swigart had 6. Chase Batchelor finished with 16. Isaiah Malone, a game-high 18, and Messiah Solis with 2. We're going to unpack the last 10 seconds of that footage from now till kingdom come. Bethany took the basketball up the floor. Hostetler held it up above his head. He got stripped. The pass came to Malone, who had an uncontested slam with 4 seconds to go, and he missed. The rebound came back to Hostetler, and Schleybaugh scores from the left side wing as the clock reads 0-0 here on Buller Court. My, oh my, hang a star on that one. So for the Bruins, 11 points in the fourth quarter. For Prairie Heights, it was 10, and that margin ended up being the difference. We'll take a look at our score by quarters one more time. For the Bruins, 17 in the first quarter, 2 in the second, 17 in the third, and 11 in the fourth, a total of 47. For Prairie Heights, 9 in the first, 14 in the second, 14 in the third, 10 in the fourth, for a total of, 7 in the fourth, for a total of 44. With that, the sands of time have slipped through the hourglass, and you can pass in the songbooks on another Bethany Christian basketball game. It's Bruins 47, Panthers 44, but we had to wait all the way till the end. This copyrighted telecast has been brought to you by the authority of Bethany Christian Schools Incorporated. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. Our executive producers are Kyle Stocksdale and Tyson Miller. Tyson's on another continent right now. I guess that makes him our intercontinental executive producer. Wow. He is not there is no space travel involved in your semester abroad. Bethany's head of school is Dr. Tim Lehman. The principal is Hank Willems. Gary Chupp, the athletic director. Kevin Miller, the assistant AD. The emergency backup table crew, Stella Wilson, Milo Yoder, and Addison Yoder. And it is impossible to hum while you're holding your nose, although feel free to try this and report back. That concludes our coverage of this evening's festivities. The Bruins are back in action on Saturday, January 21st, when they visit Hamilton. They're back home a week from tonight as Wawasee comes calling from the shores of their similarly named lake. The JV kicks us off at 5:57 Eastern Standard Time. The Varsity follows us at 7:30 right here on BruinsVision. Also, the girls take on Culver Academy at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Their regular season finale also at home against Fairfield on Monday, January 23rd. Of course, it's January. Who knows what's going to happen with the weather? Maybe we get invaded by Bigfoot. I don't know. Stay tuned to BethanyCS.net or follow Bethany_Bruins on Twitter for the latest updates if schedule changes are necessary. Now, for our entire BruinsVision crew and the hero of the hour, Jaden Schleybaugh, this is Tony Miller saying thanks for spending part of your evening with us. Until we meet again, good night, good luck, and don't run with scissors.